Up next is Crime Watch.
One person was killed in a shooting that took place close to a mosque in Nagavilluwa, Puttalam. The police media spokesperson office said that the shooting took place at 1 this afternoon. The victim has been identified as 32-year-old Mohammed Nazir, a father of two from Nagavilluwa. Meanwhile, the police opened fire at an individual who had attempted to attack a police officer with a sharp object while he was being arrested. The suspect was being arrested for attempting to extort money from a girl in the Hokandara area in Talangama. The police commenced investigations after a complaint was made that the youth had threatened the girl over the phone and demanded a payment. The police said that the suspect has attempted to attack a police officer who was in the process of arresting him after luring him to a certain location. The suspect who fled the scene was arrested this morning while receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. Meanwhile, a woman was found murdered in a house in Waddalugama, Sidua. The victim, identified as M. Sunetha Pereira, was a 40-year-old married woman. The police suspect the woman may have been murdered around 4 days ago. She had been struck on the head with a blunt weapon. Special hotline to lodge complaints regarding private passenger transportation. Number of complaints received in 2011, 2,586. In 2012, 3,104. A 20% increase in complaints this year compared to last year. Shouldn't the number of complaints reduce when there's a minister, a deputy minister and a separate ministry for private passenger transport? Does the increase in complaints point to the deterioration of the private passenger transport service?
A Chennai court has refused to revoke a non-bailable arrest warrant issued against Sri Lankan Minister Douglas Devananda. Indian media reports the court had also turned down the minister's offer to face the murder trial in which he is an accused through video conference. Minister Douglas Devananda and 9 others are accused of killing one person in Chennai in 1986. Indian media reported that the minister had approached the court seeking cancellation of the warrant. Devananda had cited security threats to him and a possible law and order problem in Tamil Nadu if he visited the state to attend the trial. Devananda sought the court's permission to face a trial through video conferencing at the Indian High Commission in Sri Lanka. However, the Chennai court judge had rejected this request.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Chandima Veerakodi says that one of the key challenges facing the country at present is building a foolproof investor confidence system. He made the statement at the annual Chartered Accountants Conference in Colombo yesterday.
The 33rd National Conference of the Sri Lanka Chartered Accountants Institute was held yesterday under the theme Winning Country, Corporate and Citizen.
Now it's time for us to invite investment into the country, promote investment into the country. Wherever we go in the world, people talk to us, leaders of those nations talk to us with confidence. The confidence that as a country we have been able to build, I must say, is remarkable. But at the same time, we need, especially in accountancy, standards that are acceptable, universal. This is not a place where you bring in black money at the mercy of whoever who governs this country. The profit will be taken back only at the mercy of the rulers. This is not a country of that nature. We need to improve further. Had there been isolated incidents, we need to overcome. We must think of a 100% foolproof system, 100% investor confidence system in this country.
The conference, in which several local and international experts and business leaders are participating, will conclude tomorrow. MTV and MBC are the media sponsors of this conference.
The United Nations Security Council elections were held at the UN headquarters in New York yesterday. News First Shamir Rasuddin reports on the outcome of the elections.
The United Nations General Assembly elected Australia, Argentina, Luxembourg, Republic of Korea and Rwanda to serve as non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council for a period of 2 years beginning the 1st of January 2013. The vote was held here at the United Nations headquarters in New York to decide on the composition of the United Nations Security Council, which deals with global security as well as peace. Argentina, Australia and Rwanda were elected in the first round of the vote, while Luxembourg and Korea were elected in the second round. Now these countries will be replacing Colombia, Germany, India, Portugal and South Africa at the United Nations Security Council as non-permanent members. Now there are 5 permanent members at the United Nations Security Council which wield the veto power, and they are China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom as well as the United States. Now the conduct of the United Nations Security Council has come under much criticism over the last few years or so, and the world leaders who gathered for the 67th sessions of the United Nations General Assembly pressed for reform at the United Nations Security Council. However, reform is not in the agenda of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council at the moment. I'm Shamir Rasuldeen reporting for News First from the UN headquarters in New York.
Looking at some schools rugby, the Old Anandian Sports Club has challenged the decision of awarding the championship of the Inter-School Prime Minister's Rugby Cup to Prince of Wales College, Moratuwa. Speaking at a media briefing today, the Old Anandian stated that the final should be replayed.
Ananda College Colombo and Prince of Wales College Moratuwa battled it out in the final of the Inter-Schools Prime Minister's Rugby Cup last Tuesday. The match played at Air Force grounds in Ratmalana was stopped 8 minutes prior to the scheduled time following bad light conditions. The Old Anandian Sports Club said that the referees decided not to declare the winner of the game at the time. However, the Anandians at the media briefing today said that Prince of Wales College was declared winners of the game, contrary to the decision made at stoppage time. The secretary is the master in charge of rugby of the school. We do not know how a fair decision could be made when the secretary of the school is in the committee. There are ethics in the game. You need to accept victory and defeat. If not, you need to bring along a side that will win. Our handbook clearly states that if the game is stopped before half-time, the game will end without a result. But if the game is stopped after half-time, the team with the highest score at that time will be declared winner of the match. Thereby, the decision was given in favour of the team that was leading the points table at the time the match ended. According to the rules of the game, our association has made the right decision.
ඉතින් ඒකේ සීදාවේ නීතිය අනුව අපි සංගම විසින් නිවැරදි තීරණය අරන් තියෙනවා.
And that's a wrap from all of us here at News First. Don't forget, if you missed out on any of the stories we just aired, you can log on to our award-winning website, www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Sonali Wanigabadage.
And I'm Shane Silva. Good night.